welcome to the stage the host of televised specials on ESPN and CBS, First Canada MC, Karthik Kanna Gasa Bapathy.
Oh, hey everyone, welcome back. Today, it's day 3 of the First Canada Digital Expo. That's right, third day we've been doing this. We're going to keep on doing it because it's been so good. What is happening today? Well, we have a celebration and exposition of what our team, students, mentors, and volunteers who make up our community have been able to accomplish this season. And day 3's focus is on none other than our mentors. So it is going to be a lot of fun. You know what's actually happening today? Well, we've got some really cool stuff. We got like a great group of guests. You're going to be blown away by what we have here. We have a guest speaker from one of our sponsors, Rockwell Automation. We have a Storytime segment. That's right, the Storytime segment from First Canada Live has come to the Digital Expo. And boy, do we have a big set of guests. We have 5 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winners here today. So that is going to be a real spectacular special. And then we are going to be recognizing all the mentors who've been nominated for the various mentor awards across the First Robotics Competition, First Tech Challenge, and First Lego League Challenge. It's going to be a great glimpse at some of the key people who are keeping FIRST working for all of our students. You know, throughout the show, we want to be a little bit interactive, so if you have anything to say, you want to maybe be read on air, hit us up in the Twitch chat, and we will do our best to bring the comments on air. And just a reminder to everyone, when we're watching these shows, our key focus in everything is gracious professionalism. So let's keep our comments positive, enthusiastic, and let's just keep a healthy vibe, you know, because that's what we're all looking for right now. It is going to be a great show, and we're going to get kick-started in just a minute, but we're going to first take a look at a word from one of our sponsors. Now, I'd like to welcome our first guest, Vice President Canada at Rockwell Automation, Mike Hutchings. Oh, hi. We're going to have a video from Mike Hutchings in just 1 second.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to First Canada's Digital Expo, a week-long celebration of our volunteers, mentors, students, and teams. I am Mike Hutchings, Vice President of Rockwell Automation. Rockwell is a proud partner of First Canada, and together we're on a mission to stimulate young people's interest to pursue a STEM education. Rockwell is a technology company. We help automate manufacturing for our customers using cool technology like software and robots. One of the biggest challenges our industry faces is hiring people with the right skill sets. One of the things we look for when we hire at Rockwell is people who are passionate about robots. That's why we have support for First Canada programs, as well as virtual programs like STEMathon that develop our students' critical skills that are needed to fill science, technology, and engineering jobs. I know it's been a tough year for all, and hopefully we're almost done with lockdowns. It's really heartwarming during these challenging times to be able to provide these opportunities for our students. So a special thanks to our volunteers, teachers, and mentors that make it happen. That's it for me. Thanks and best of luck to the teams. I hope you really enjoy the Digital Expo, and I look forward to seeing you all again in person at a future event.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you to Rockwell Automation for all of your support of First Canada. Okay, things are going to get rolling with our story time in just a minute, but we'll be back in 1 second. All right, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Let's introduce our Championship Woodie Flowers Award winners. That's right. Our 1997 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winner from Team 88, TJ Squared from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, it's Liz Califf. 2003 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winner from Team 45, Technocat Robotics Hub, and current mentor for Team 3940, Cybertooth, both based out of Kokomo, Indiana, it's Andy Baker. 2008 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winner from Team 188, The Blizzard in Toronto, and president of First Canada, your own Mr. Mark Bredner. And 2018 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winner from Team 1885, I Light Robotics from Haymarket, Virginia, it's Professor Gail Drake. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We're really excited to have you as part of the First Canada Digital Expo. And, there's so much we could talk to all of you about. We got so much wisdom here, but I think we really want to give our audience kind of a glimpse of the behind the scenes. What's it like to be a Woodie Flowers Award winner? So I think, maybe to get started, Andy, I'd love to know, how did you get started in FIRST?
I was in the right place at the right time. I was very fortunate. I just graduated college and I sat down at my desk. This was January 92, and my cubicle mate had this goofy little robot on his desk and a box of corn kernels and that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, what are you doing? And that was the beginning of FIRST in all of FIRST, and also in Kokomo. We were one of the original teams. That was 92. So I saw my coworkers help create the team and be a part of the original competitions of FIRST. And then I got on the team, Team 45, back in 1998. And I've been mentoring ever since. Just love it.
And so you've been around, for a huge swath of FIRST history, Andy. What do you think the biggest change has been from FIRST in 1998 to FIRST today?
Oh, gosh. Probably... Well, probably, in my opinion, the biggest change was the introduction of the other programs. FLL came along very early 2000, FTC came along mid-2000s, and that opened up the door for younger students and also organizations with less resources that didn't want to choose to do an FRC team. It gives them options to do other programs. So with those... With the expansion of the programs within FIRST, that really opened up the opportunities for actually hundreds of thousands of kids to be involved with FIRST.
Yeah, and Liz, you've been around equally as long. You were the first winner of this award. What has the change that's been most prominent in your opinion?
Oh boy, just the amount of technology, state-of-the-art technology that our kids have been able to play with. That's just phenomenal. And then to see our students go into industry and use these same tools and be ready to go in. This is how long I've been in it. I remember at the championship in Disney, and my driver was up on the national stage and was selecting the teams to go into the finals with, and we did it with whiteboards because we didn't have cell phones. So that's how long it's been.
And the whiteboard strategy, a lot of teams still use that. It's reliable. There's not gonna be a signal outage, you're not gonna get a wrong number. It's right there for you. It's right there. Gail, how about you? When did you get started?
I got started in 2004. I had made the transition from full-time university to public schools to try and give back, and one of our school board members saw my background and basically gave me a phone call and said, our school division needs FIRST. He was a Lockheed engineer. And now that you're here, we're going to have it. So you're assigned to get this done. And that was about 10 days before the season began.
Wow.
Probably one of the most fun seasons that I've ever seen in my life was to go through that first one with 10 days heads up. Oh, and by the way, we'll give you money for the entrance fee, but you get to figure out the rest.
That's a nice one. Here's somebody, and like, a lot of people think it's like, oh, when you're starting a first team, it's like, oh yeah, we got the funding for you, we got a grant, it'll be easy. But we all know that that's just not the case at all. Mr. Bredner, you've obviously been around with First in Canada since the very, very beginning. What do you think the biggest change from then to now has been specifically on Canada?
Well, it's just been great to see the growth of teams right across Canada. When we started, it was basically teams from Ontario. There was a team from Quebec. But, now we have thousands of teams right across Canada. And it's really nice to see kind of from coast to coast to coast, us having teams participating and new regionals popping up everywhere, a district in Ontario. It's been really fun to see it grow and see the sort of the excitement spread right across the country.
Karthik, if I could add one element.
Please.
The biggest change that I've seen is the people in the communities not knowing the word first in the organization to people in the world knowing it's infamously famous and seeking it out. I was at an event on Saturday night and a woman came over and said, "You're that first person." And I have to tell you, we went and found schools with first for our kids because they weren't going to a school without first.
It really is wild, just like how commonplace it is. But it's like I remember like a few years ago, but I think that's when I realized the turning point kind of hit. I was at a Blue Jays game, and then some kid was like, "Hey, are you the robotics MC?" I'm like, "I am the robotics MC." I was just like, "Wow, this is like super super wild." Andy,
did he ask for an autograph, Karthik? Did you sign an autograph?
I may have, I may have, but it's
very good.
It's one of those things, but it's kind of wild to think about the level of recognition that's there, because before no one even knew what robotics was. But now when you talk about robotics, First is the flagship out there. First is the program that people have heard of, and so that's fascinating. Andy, your first time coming up to a Canadian event was back in 2006, right?
Yeah, that was the double field Toronto regional. That was quite an event. It was in the hockey arena in Toronto. Yeah. I forget the name of the place, but it was a great event.
It was called the Hershey Center at the time. Now it's called the Paramount Center. What's your favorite memory from that event, Andy?
Oh gosh, so we got slaughtered. Our robot was not very good here. I have I guess okay. We're Woodie Flowers Award winners, so I have a Woodie Flowers story. So I won the award in 2003, and when you win this award, you get to have pretty direct access to Woodie Flowers. Rest in peace, Woody. But that was 2006, 3 years later. So Woody and I were working very closely together on various things, especially the design of the Woodie Flowers Finalist Award trophy. I was the CAD guy, and Woody was the conductor of the design. He was very critical about that. So he and I worked together, and I asked him where he was going for events that year, and he said, "Well, I'm going to go to Toronto." I said, "Well, I'm going to Toronto." So I said, "Hey, look, I'll be there. Let's have dinner together." I said, "Do you need me to pick you up?" So I went and picked him up. He insisted in sitting in the back seat with my daughters, where we had this van that was all messy. It was kind of crazy. And then we had some friends, the Copiolis and John B. Noon and Amanda Morrison went out to dinner with us. And it was just one of those magical nights that you have that you just don't forget. So it was Woody and my family and some good friends having a nice dinner together. And we didn't even get to the competition yet. I had a great time at the competition, but that was really my biggest memory from that event, was just spending quality time with Woody.
Yeah, and I think for so many of us, when you talk about favorite memories of the events, it's not necessarily anything to do with an award or the matches. It's just like the community and just like the conversations you've had, the people you've met, and those kind of interactions, which really speaks to the breadth of this program. So, Liz, I'm really curious because you won the Woodie Flowers Finalist Award in 1997, before most of us were even involved in First. What was that ceremony like, and what was that moment like for you?
Well, it was in Disney, because that's where the championship was at that point. And we were in the bleachers. It was the end. It was late at night. It was like 9 o'clock. And it was kind of towards the end of everything. And we were sitting in the highest bleachers I've ever been in. And my team put us in the back row. Now, I didn't even know my team had submitted the award. And so all of a sudden they said our team name, and I kind of wasn't paying attention because I was reveling in the fact that I had gone on an airplane field trip and nobody had gotten hurt or anything like that. And all of a sudden my team collapsed on me and I had to walk down these high bleachers, and I met Woody and I met Dean on the stage, and it was crazy. And that night we were in a new hotel that didn't even have any rooms, and so we had to leave for our plane at 4 a.m. So I said to my kids, all right, you got me. We're going to just be really quiet, and if you stay really quiet, we can stay up all night. And we pulled an all-nighter in the pool, got out of the pool, went in the plane, and off we went. So it was a crazy night, and I'll never forget it. It was just, they really caught me by surprise, and it was wonderful. And just meeting all these people, and now, this is the award that, keeps on giving. To be able to work with these people all these years has been wonderful. So
did Dr. Murphy present to you, Liz?
He did. Yes, he did. Dr. Murphy, Woody, and Dean. That was a triumvirate.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
And it was just fantastic. And all the way down, my knees shook, and I never knew that was a real thing. So but the cap of it all was that we had been there from 7:30 in the morning. Like I said, it's 9 o'clock at night. It was 98 degrees and 98% humidity, and we had been shooting water cannons at each other all day. So all of a sudden, my face is up on a 25-foot screen. So, oh well, it was awesome.
And Mr. Bredner, your story when you won is like, I mean, it involves the Secret Service, literally. So I think some people in our audience know this story, but I don't think many do.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I, for the first time in 10 years, I wasn't going to go to championships. I'd just been moved to a school that had a lot of issues in the admin role, and I just couldn't get away. I just couldn't go. And there was just too many things to take care of in the school. And, but I guess that was the year I was going to win it. I didn't know that, of course. So I think Paul Copioli and my wife, Rona, pulled some strings to get me down to championships. So I was kind of like, what's going on? But you know what? I kind of enjoyed a bit of a break from the school, to be honest. So I'm down there and I'm, kind of really enjoying myself, wandering around, didn't have my team there. And so Steve Kroick says, let's have breakfast. It was on the Saturday morning, I guess it was. Or Friday maybe. Let's have breakfast together. Right. So we did. We were chatting away, and he said, I've got a couple of seats down on the floor. Let's go down and watch down there. So I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I mean, I've never been that close before. So I get down there. We're going in, and we couldn't get in. We couldn't get into the building. It was under lockdown because George Bush Sr. was speaking, and they locked the whole building down, and Steve had kept me away for quite some time. And we almost didn't make it in. So Steve was on his phone, and really, this is who I am. I'm really running this show. Like, I need to get to the floor. He finally convinced, people to let us in. We finally get in there, and Dr. Murphy had started speaking already. And so I'm listening and I'm thinking, that kind of sounds like me. Like, this speech kind of sounds like me, but it can't be me. And sure enough, by the end of it, it was me. And I ran up there and, was quite emotional. It was like not expected at all. And, just amazing. Got to meet a lot of these folks and spent the whole day carrying that trophy around. By the way, it weighs about, 40 pounds. I was carrying it around with my arm like this, dug into my hip, because I was so proud of that thing. I just wanted to go and see everybody I could. And by the end of the day, I'd worn through the skin on my hip, but it didn't matter. I was just so happy to be part of this group. And, as Liz says, it is the gift that keeps giving. We're very close, this group. We meet regularly. And it's just been, a life changer for me having this honor.
It's such a cool story. I remember being down on the floor when it was happening. I have pictures of the ceremony going, and like there's actually like Secret Service agents in front of me, like where you could see the wire running from all of that, and it was just super cool to manifest all of that. All of you are here because you've won this award, which is for effective communication, and I like to say it's for effective mentorship. And so I'm wondering, maybe we'll start with Gail. Do you have like a favorite or most memorable moment as a mentor? Just something that stands out to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a big famous moment, or just like a specific interaction with a student, or maybe it is a famous story or something that you'd like to share with us.
It's a moment that I see almost every year. My favorite moments every year is watching students come from very different walks of life. We've got the kids who absolutely love to program, the kids that love to do the artwork, those that like to write, those that like to build, and watching how they just fold into a team and respect each other's talents and then depend on each other for the whole team to be successful. We always kind of document how close we think we're getting to that. And when we're moving closer and closer, we start to share with the students, kind of like, look where you've come and look what you understand. So it's one of those ones that you get to reevaluate every single year and love it every year. The students being able to learn to respect other people's talents, I just love.
Yeah, it's seeing that growth, and seeing that development of where someone was at point A and now they're at point B, and it's like, wow, this program did that. Andy, what about you? Is there like a favorite story that stands out?
You prepped us with these questions, and this one was probably the hardest one for me. It's difficult to pick one, but for some reason, this one pops in my mind, and it's a young man named Davis, and I haven't met any student like Davis. He's very unique, very, very charismatic, and also outgoing, and like he had to hug everybody, and he was always very, very emotional and a very strong member of our team. And he wasn't the best student, but he was consistently active on Cybertooth. He probably graduated 5 or 6 years ago, 7 or 8, I don't know. Anyway, we had a good bond. He made it through his senior year, and I try to go to the seniors. We have graduation open houses where they graduate, and then they have an open house at their house, and you can go and you can visit, and you can have some snacks and cake, and then you leave. And so I go to his open house, and his mom, I'd never met his mom before, but his mom grabs me and she gives me this big hug, and I see where she got that from. And she goes, without Cybertooth and without FIRST, Davis would have dropped out of school. And without your mentorship, Davis would not be going to college. And without the team, he would not be the young man he is today. And that just kind of hit me. I did not expect that at all. She was very appreciative. He's a very fine young man, and her comments to me has stuck with me, and they keep me going as a mentor.
That's really moving. It's so nice to get that sort of feedback, because so often I think mentors, especially in this program, there's just a large sense of humility, and everyone's kind of like, oh yeah, it was a good year, whatever. But no one wants to think about like that direct impact. And when a parent, says something like that, it's like, wow, it's big. Liz, what about you? Is there a story or a moment that stands out?
We had like Gail was saying, like Andy was saying, you just see students explode in this program, and it's awesome. They just all of a sudden find their own way. And we were working on a robot, and this was early on, and it had a big arm. We had to reach up really high for one of the games. And we were at the point where we had our grabber, we had all this stuff, but we couldn't figure out how to get the arm up to that height. And so, all the engineers and everybody was standing around, and we're trying to do all this torque stuff and, all that cool physics and everything. And one of the students is standing behind me, and he just says, "It's like a seesaw." And, he doesn't say it loud. He's just saying it kind of to me. And then he says, "It's like a seesaw." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And found out that if we had manipulated our whole top part on this arm, we could run it down and it would flip itself. And he had seen it ahead of everyone else. And so I said, "I think Donnie has something to say." I go, "Go ahead, present it." He did. everyone just kind of looked at each other and said, good, we can go to lunch. We've solved it. And it was just
like a seesaw.
fantastic. It was just awesome. And, and he didn't have the courage to say it at first. And after that, he talked a lot. But it was wonderful.
It's cool that you were able to. Yeah, exactly. Finding the voice, and that's such a big part of mentorship. Yep. Mr. Brenner, what about you? You've had a lot of stories and a lot of moments and a lot of interactions with students on teams you've been on directly, and just being a supporter of this program. So I know it's probably hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a couple. One was just seeing the growth in the students and seeing them get more confidence to express their ideas. I forget the year. The year was 4-on-1. What was that year called?
2001.
Yeah.
2001.
Some of the kids on the team wanted to do this incredible robot where we called it squishing the fish. We had the balls on our head and we were hoping to balance the beam. And so we talked about it. And the mentors really weren't kind of on board with it, but we did it. We kind of said, we're going to come in first or last with this. If we can get this to work, we're going to win. Definitely. No one else can do this. And we came pretty close to getting it to work, but we didn't. Then we came in last. But the fun of that development cycle and the freedom of letting the students you know what, we're with you. Let's go for it. And it was amazing. Another one was not related to the robot. So in 2002, we had a wonderful young lady singing the national anthem at the event. And that year we had quite a few American teams coming up, thankfully, just to fill out the complement for our first regional. And of course, the American national anthem needed to be sung. And she was singing it and she forgot the words. Midway through, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like this, I feel so embarrassed for our American teams that are here. The whole audience started singing to get her through the national anthem. And I can't really express how moving that was, that we're all in this together. We're a team here. And the smile that came back on her face, she remembered the words, she joined in again. But it was just one of the most moving moments, and it's not related to the robot. It talked about what the FIRST community is all about. And to me that, I'll never forget that. And it was incredibly, incredibly special.
And then that moment, that evening, that Saturday night got mentioned on Hockey Night in Canada because one of the commentators was at the venue and saw it happen and then mentioned it. So it was like, because I remember I went to that event and I wasn't there for opening ceremonies, but they're talking about robotics on Hockey Night in Canada, which is like the biggest deal in Canada. You don't get bigger than that. So
yeah, that was quite amazing that he brought that up during Hockey Night in Canada. He happened to just be there, one of the announcers, and he said, I don't know what this was, but it was very moving. I can't believe that that this happened. So it was amazing.
Wow. You do that voice really well, actually.
It was Mark.
Yeah.
That's the family that FIRST builds, right? The natural family that comes from all of the teams. Just last weekend, my 2011 graduating class all met in Denver. And that's the love of that FIRST Robotics builds across people. Solving problems together builds bonds.
I always called the events
a really good quote.
Kind of like Christmas, where you're getting together for the events. Like you meet all these people and you just pick up where you left off from the previous year. The friendships you have with mentors and students. And it's so easy these days to keep connected. So you keep connected with these students that go on and do wonderful things with their lives.
Yeah, one of our go on, Andy.
It is a common bond, and I try to put my finger on this over the years, but there's a couple of different common bonds happening. First of all, amongst the students, they went through this ringer, this gauntlet of this hardest fun they've ever had of making an invention with not enough resources and not enough time, and they're competing against each other. And then they get to the championships, or they get to the district championships or an event, and they get to perform and celebrate. So there's a bond for the students, but there's also this bond for these mentors. And that's to me, it's on a different level. It's more of a mature, long-lasting thing. Like I've known Liz for over 20 years. I've known Mark for almost 20 years. I'm getting to know Gail, and we're becoming good friends. And those bonds, I mean, when I see these folks at Worlds or at championships, I really, really want to talk to them. I really miss them. I've really missed you guys and gals during the last year and a half of this terrible pandemic. It's a community, and this bond that we go through, this gauntlet of difficulty that we go through makes our bond stronger every year. So I haven't really been able to put a good phrase to it. What did you say, Gail? What did you say that makes the bond stronger?
Solving problems together.
Yeah.
Build relationships.
Please, Liz.
It always amazes me that when we get together, how many common problems teams have. You know, things that happen on the East Coast happen on the West Coast, you know, and mentors can get together and talk to each other, and you're going through the same thing. And so you're interrelated without even realizing it. And you're just connected just through this common experience. And you're all trying to do this wonderful thing and have this experience for students, and it ties you all together.
One of the best analogies I've heard about this is from one of our FTAs, Karen Lee. She describes the season for like the mentors and the volunteers as it's similar to summer camp, where you work intensely together for like a few weekends, but then you don't see these people again. You know, you don't see them again until the next year, but the next year you see them, it's like, oh yeah, I know you so well, because we had this like 3-day experience where we were super intensely working together, solving problems and getting to know each other. And I was like, yeah, that is a lot like summer camp, because we look forward to it. And then we think about it during the year, but like, you know, stuff goes on, but then we come back together and it's like, oh yeah. It's like, like Andy, like I don't see you for a couple years, but I see you. It's like, oh yeah, we can just like catch up, and it's like right there, like, right. It just makes sense. Yeah, it's super, super cool. Time is flying here, so we're going through a lot of stuff. But one of the biggest things with your group is you are leaders and role models in the community, and you have like a lot of people look to you for guidance. And we were really hoping that maybe each of you could share one of your best strategies for promoting one of FIRST's most important strategic pillars, which is of equity, diversity, and inclusion. And so maybe Andy, if you want to touch on that, because I know you've been a strong advocate in this way for a long time.
Thank you, Karthik. As a middle-aged white guy, I have a hard time with this, but I think that's the first thing, is realizing what you are and what your faults are. I think the one thing I've learned a lot about, especially, is just viewing STEM and viewing opportunities for young women through my 3 daughters. My daughters all went through this program, and they all had very, very positive experiences as students, and now they're all volunteers in the program, and they were served. Like, one was a judge. Lucy's 19, and she's an FTC judge this past 2 weeks, and she's doing wonderful things. Wow. So I think the thing about FIRST that I really relished is seeing my daughters do very well and thrive within FIRST, but it also has exposed me to the difficulties that women have in not only STEM, but also the professional fields that they try to get into. And there's still issues out there that we need to solve that make it difficult for not only women, but also all types of minorities that just are not expected to do well in some of the male-dominated fields.
I think that's some really, really great advice there, Andy. Gail, how about you?
I'm going to start by following up with what Andy said. The switch went on for me when I was in my second master's degree program, and I was the only female in the entire degree program. And it was that point in time when I needed to evaluate, kind of how to position myself in the world and what I was going to do. But I'm in education because I care deeply about people and seeing people find their voice and seeing them become who they can become and the best in them. And I feel FIRST gives an avenue for people to do that. We all say the robot's a tool for teaching people that they can do things and be successful. Mm-hmm. And I want to take any person who will come forward and be a part of it to do that. So I did join this school here to open it. I was one of the first people hired to open up a technology school in Virginia and then to fulfill a federal grant to do dual enrollment. But my personal goal in opening the school was that nerds were not going to be picked on, because it's a group that historically had been picked on. And you could be as nerdy as you wanted, and you were going to have a school that you could feel safe in. So when I was asked to open up an FRC team, I felt that was a perfect avenue to parallel that goal. And I'm happy to say that I've never seen such an all-inclusive environment, and I'm so proud of the environment, but I'm so proud of the people in the environment because they've all made it that way. Even the football coach stops in every week to see what's going on with the robot. I mean, the whole building. So I've vowed myself to someday write a book on how we pulled that off.
That is really, really great advice. But hey, everyone, I want to hold here and we're going to pause on this question. And, because we have a special guest coming in. Because, like when you have like 4 Woodie Flowers finalists, Woodie Flowers Award winners, why not have 5? And, so why not bring someone else in? So we're just getting ready over here and, better late than never, introducing 2005 Woodie Flowers Award winner from Team 217 and now Team 3310. Dude, seriously?
Hey, man, apparently experience, wisdom, age doesn't give you any insight on how to use calendars and time zones when you're trying to work across 4 time zones. So like I'm totally fine on Central Time, but hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for letting me in. I thought I would be banned for life after that one, but
First Robotics fans, please welcome Mr. Paul Copioli. Everyone. Yeah, well, everyone. Now that Paul's here, the segment's over, and we can everyone just want to say goodbye. No, seriously, Paul, you came in at a good time. We've been talking about a lot of different things here, so maybe we'll catch you up. But Paul, I'm going to put you on the spot right here. What has been like your favorite moment as a mentor ever?
Okay, like singular moment, I'll get to that maybe. But moment from a time span standpoint, we on the Thunder Chickens on 217 when I first joined, we had this was back in 2000. We had a team of 60 kids and we had 4 girls on the team, 4. And so that was my first glimpse into okay, this is a problem. We have to do something about it. And so me and the other mentors, by the way, we're all men. We decided that it was important that we created an inclusive environment. So we grabbed we gathered the 4 girls together and said, hey, what is it that makes other girls not want to be on the team? And it all comes down to feeling like they belong and feeling like they have other people like them that are interested in this. So I challenged them, and they were sophomores at the time, and I challenged them, and over the course of the next 4 or 5 years, our team makeup was still 60 members, but by the time we got to about 2004 or 2005, we had 35 of our participants were young ladies, and the remaining ones were boys. And that it takes a concerted effort to really understand the basic psychology of why. And so that kind of moment of epiphany for me was super, super impactful. And I still talk to some of those girls today as they're adults now. And we reminisce about how impactful that was for both of us, for them and for me. So that as a kind of a big moment, that would be it.
That ties in perfectly to what we were just talking about, Paul, because we were talking about strategies to promote equity, diversity, and inclusion. And so, Liz, I'm going to come to you. Is there something that's really worked for you over the years?
I think it's what the other panelists have referred to. I mean, you have to acknowledge it, and you have to think about what is going on in your team. Look around. Are people included? If kids are sitting in the corner and not feeling like they're part of it, invent something that will bring them in, and excite them about it and make them feel valued. That was something that drew me to Woodie Flowers. anywhere he was, he'd be talking to students, and it didn't matter what the conversation was. That conversation was the most important. He valued people and he respected people, and I just tried to pass that on in my team. Is respect is what you need to do. You respect each other, you have a great team, you have fun, and things just all flow from there. And so, you just have to think about it. Assess if your program is good for your members and for your community, and don't let people be left out. Just make it happen.
Yes. And Mr. Brenner, like, one of your best skills is you're a team builder and a culture builder. How does one build a culture that promotes and naturally promotes equity, diversity, and inclusion?
Yeah, just to leverage off what the other people were saying, I mean, making sure that everybody has a voice, and it doesn't necessarily happen naturally. So you have to, as Liz said, have a plan, and you have to, work the plan. I mean, one of my awakenings, I was at the Waterloo event, I don't know how many years ago it was, and Rona texted me and said, she was watching, she said, all the judges, Mark, are male, all of them at this event. Did you know that? And I said, no, I didn't know that. And, our board chair, Dorothy Byers, always says, if you can see her, you can be her. And so you have to work a plan. You have to get more people in roles where they can be looked at. And you have to listen. When you've got people like Kim Cooper and Artie Javeri and Annika Pint, who are much better versed in EDI than myself, listen to what they have, great ideas, listen to what they say, and then implement them. But the main thing is to have a plan, to realize where you want to go, and ensure that everybody gets an equal voice.
And I think this is all really, really great advice. I just want to throw another thing. It's just for everyone to remember that there's diversity. There's all sorts of different types of diversity. And when it comes to inclusion, it means inclusion of all. And so it's not just to understand that there's racial dynamics, there's ability dynamics, there's, mental health. There's all sorts of things that we have to be thinking of. And I think it's one of those things is the more conscious you are of it, the more subconscious it becomes. And I think that's, that's kind of how you build culture. So we're running out of time here, but I think since we have this group of, wise folks, I would love everyone to go around and just kind of answer, or kind of say, there's one piece of advice that you give to mentors across the FIRST community, students, or, old mentors, young mentors, whatever it may be. What would that be? And maybe we'll start with Liz.
The thing I worry about is that the job of FIRST is never done. There's just so much you can do. So keep it fun. Don't burn out. Stop yourself from doing so much that it makes you angry. It's not good for you and for the people you're hoping to inspire. So do what you do well and do it with a positive attitude.
I like that. Paul?
Of course, you make me follow up Liz. Liz is so great at this. For the young mentors that are getting into this, especially ones that are transitioning from being a student in this program to being a mentor, I would say remember why you're doing this in the first place. It's not about the results. It's about the process. It's about, I think we touched on this earlier, it's about looking at those kids who may be off in the corner and trying to find a way to get them engaged. I call them, my team makes fun of me, I call them my projects. And that's the kids who are going to do this anyway. You can give them a little bit of stuff to do, challenge them on projects, but you really need to engage with those students that are reluctant or unsure of themselves. Because really, that's the point of why we're mentoring, right? We're mentoring to get kids who maybe don't think they're good at this, or maybe think that they're not as good as other kids, or that they can't do it, to gain confidence. And that confidence gains ability that they didn't know they had. And so that advice to the mentors is focus on that part of the process, and the results and the competition, all the other stuff, that'll just happen along the way.
I love it. Process over outcomes. That's good advice for anything you're doing in life. Gail?
I've got kind of two quicker statements with it. I'd like to tell mentors, when you join FRC, it takes 5 years to even understand all of the components of FRC. So take it slow. But the biggest thing that I like to share with them is it's a lifestyle choice. Your life will be changed forever.
That's, yeah. Still getting around that one. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Andy.
So I'm a designer, and I like to build things, and I lead design sub-teams when it comes to being a first mentor still. And the thing that I try to tell the kids and tell their other mentors and other designers is to break it early. But you've heard about fail fast. I like to break things early, because when you break, you fix, you break it, you fix it, you iterate, you make it better, and eventually it becomes a good product, or it becomes a good process. And that could be translated to creating a very ambitious outreach events. If you just spend all your time planning and never do, then you're not going to get much results. But if you plan some and then do some and then iterate until it becomes a very successful outreach event or fundraising event or recruiting event or autonomous code or program, it's going to be eventually a pretty fine-tuned thing, because you've iterated, you've broken it, and you've fixed it multiple times. And so, yeah, fail fast, break it early.
Love it. And Mr. B, maybe to close us out.
Yeah, if you're a young mentor, certainly find a senior mentor that you can bounce ideas off of, whether it be on your team or another team. That's super important. And, the notion of balance as well, first can be all consuming all the time. I'm a big proponent of work hard, play hard. So, when you're working hard with your team, that's great. You're all in, but, make sure you balance that. Don't leave your family behind completely, because that's not a healthy thing. So, the balance aspect is really, really important. But I love the saying, work hard, play hard.
All right. Well, I want to thank all of you for being on this panel today. This has been some great discussion, really cool for our audience to be able to see all of this. And, I say we do this in person sometime. All of you are in district systems now, so meaning you could come up to Canada for an event. So maybe we have everyone come up at some point. Like, Paul, it's been a while since you've been to Waterloo. I'm just saying.
I miss Waterloo more than I could possibly describe.
Do you miss the junior mint too, Paul?
I miss everything about the Waterloo event, Mark. Everything about. I'm just sad that we never got the chance to rappel off the ceiling like we wanted to, Karthik. That was
one day, dude. And you missed the junior mint. You missed Junior, because he was a big part of that too. So it's a good time. Yeah. Thanks so much to all of you for being here, and we hope to see you at the event soon. If not in Canada, at a championship, and all sorts of good things to come. But and thank you for inspiring the community. You're leaders, and so many people look up to you. So it's really cool to have you all here today. So thank you. And we will be back with more Woodie Flowers content after this break. That break was way faster than I thought it was going to be. Tonight, we'd like to take a moment to celebrate all our Woodie Flowers Finalist Award nominees. This award is presented to an outstanding mentor who best leads, inspires, teaches, and empowers their team using excellent communication skills. Dr. William Murphy and Small Parts Incorporated began this prestigious award back in 1996, began this prestigious award in 1996. Beginning in 2004, this award was expanded to honor more exemplary communicators in the FIRST community. Now, to introduce our first robotics competition Woodie Flowers Finalist Award nominees for the 2021 Ontario District, once again, here's 2008 Championship Woodie Flowers Award winner, Mr. Mark Breitner.
Thanks, Karthik, and thank you to teams for nominating your amazing mentors. I'm very excited to introduce to you all the nominees for this year's award. The winner will be announced on May 15th. Let's take a look at these well-deserved nominees. Janelyn Kaoli, Team 771. Sherilyn Kashelsky, Team 772. Karina McCoy, Team 865. Nick Kirstens, Team 914 and 4343. Shakib Momin, Team 1241. Ryan Del Genio, Team 1305. Michael Miche, Team 1325. Chuck Woods, Team 1334. Peter Lowe's, Team 1360. Caitlin Walsh, Team 1374. Rob Kitchen, Team 2056. Kevin Lamb, Team 2706. Andrew Azores, Team 3161. Barbara Magolan, Team 3683. Noah Linton, Team 4039. Dan Monty, Team 4069. Christine Bibick, Team 4476. Shannon Scott, Team 4617. Jeff Powell, Team 4688. Alain Saint-Amand, Team 4783. Andrew Savoy, Team 4907. Chris Psychos, Team 4946. Godofredo Alcida, Team 45032. Christopher Pinto, Team 5406. Susanna Arnott, Team 6135. Gord Roller, Team 7476. Ken Nutt, Team 7480. Aaron Cosma, Team 7659. And last but not least, Brantley Blenman, Team 7712. Congratulations to all the nominees. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you on Saturday. Back to you, Carthen.
Thank you, Mr. Brenner, and congratulations to all those nominees. And if you want to find out who the winner is, tune in Saturday, 4 p.m. Celebration Saturday. It's the big day with the FRC Gala happening at 4 p.m. And we've got lots of other stuff happening on Saturday. We got FLL Provincials at 9, and we've got FTC Provincials at 12. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to do some more mentor talk. It's going to be specifically about FTC, but we'll be doing that in just a moment after this word from our sponsor.
When I was applying for co-ops, I was really looking for a place that would allow me to have the greatest amount of experience. And since Hatch is such a big company, I knew that I would be able to get involved with all the different groups that the company offers.
What surprised me about working at Hatch was the amount of responsibility that you're given very quickly, like once you start.
There's so many opportunities to learn, not just from specialists in the field, but also from something like Lunch and Learns, or even Safety Shares. So it's not something technical that I'm learning, but something that might help me in my everyday life.
For me to be able to just walk into their office and ask them whatever I want, to schedule a meeting whenever I want, to be able to work directly with them on building things was an insanely good experience.
As a student, I am as much valued as the other employees that are here.
I enjoy working here because people are very friendly, and this environment that they created has been more than absolute perfect.
Okay, we're back. The Compass Award recognizes an adult coach or mentor who has given outstanding guidance and support to a team throughout the year and demonstrates to the team what it means to be a gracious professional. The winner of the Compass Award will be chosen from candidates nominated by First Tech Challenge student team members via 40 to 60 second video submission. The videos submitted by team highlights how their mentors have helped them achieve success this season, and they've helped them in a lot of ways. The winner of this award will be announced at the First Tech Challenge Provincial Championship on May 15th. That's going to be happening at noon on Saturday, Celebration Saturday. Woo-wee. All right, now let's take a look at the nominees for the Compass Award for the 2021 season. Connie Annetta from Team 18846 Braybonics. Jean-Francois Michaud from Team 18844 Proteins. Wan Li Oscar Jiang from Team 18920 Robotics Store. Thank you to all the FTC mentors for their service this year, not just the ones who were nominated, but every single one of you. This year has been super challenging, especially for FTC, where you've been working on robots virtually, finding ways to compete in our digital events. It's been really, really cool. So special, congratulations to all of you. And a special thank you to all the students who were able to nominate a coach or mentor this year for the Compass Award. You deserve to be recognized too. Okay, we'll be back in just one sec. Coaches and mentors inspire their teams to do their best, both as individuals and together. And without them, there would be no first LEGO League. This award goes to the coach or mentor whose leadership and guidance is clearly evident and best exemplifies FIRST core values. Teams nominate their coach by answering 2 questions. How does this coach or mentor inspire the team to do its best? And why does this coach or mentor deserve this very special recognition? We'd like to recognize all the 2021 First LEGO League Challenge Coach Award nominees. And our nominees are Pam Catricala from Team 3434, the Professionals, and Team 3436, the Ascenders. Stephanie Sutherland from Team 5875, the Corny Patch Kids. Lisa Wiles from Team 27091, UMS. Anas Mahdi from Team 3939, the Turtlebots, and 48585, the Sparrows. David Lamb from Team 34818, the Tiro Flares. Arthur Jan from Team 38479, Fun Ovate. Frankie from Team 45059, the Greener Bots. Dahai Zhang from Team 5564, the Unknown Solver. And John Capricala from Team 3434, the Professionals, and Team 3436, the Ascenders. Congratulations to all these FLL Challenge mentors for their service. Like we've said about all the mentors this year, it's just been a really tough year. So thank you for giving up your time and so much energy in a time where it's hard to find time, a time where it's hard to find time to do this for these students. It's truly, truly appreciated. All right, we'll be back in 1 second. All right, thank you to all our guests, especially the Championship Woodie Flowers folks. That was a great discussion. So much insight and wisdom from all of them. And when we get back to in-person events and our Canadian teams are back at the championship, seek these people out, go talk to them, because there's just so much to learn from them, and they love to share. All right, Digital Expo, this was day 3, but we still have day 4 and Celebration Saturday. To find out what's happening on all of those days, take a look at this. That's right, tomorrow's show, day 4 of the Digital Expo, we're doing volunteer celebration. So we're going to be recognizing all the volunteers across all the First Canada programs this year. And then Saturday, the day where it all culminates, the day where champions will be crowned. That's right, the first LEGO League Provincial Championship, the first Tech Challenge Provincial Championship, and the first Robotics Competition Awards Gala, where we'll be announcing all the scholarship winners, all the Infinite Recharge at-home winners from Ontario who've competed across the globe. Dean's List, Woodie Flowers Award, Volunteer of the Year, Chairman's. It is all happening Saturday. Be there for that. It's going to be great. Thanks to all our producers, moderators, and everyone who helped put together this show. And of course, thank you to the audience. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. All right, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.